Hey friends, I'm Colonel Failure and this is Train Fever USA. Last time around we were expanding out this second side of Maryport, having ummed and ahed about what we were going to tackle next, and we built this rather glamorous and risky point system before heading out through the mountain to create the scenic vista where trains may wait and observe the glory of Bingham. Before tunnelling, finally, to come out here. Now, you might think that this is where we're aiming. That's Ellesmere, right there. But no, we're not. Where we are, in fact, aiming, instead of pointing in this direction, is there, Waltham Abbey. Now, this is going to require a manoeuvre of some description. But more problematic than that is it's going to require us to build a station somewhere difficult. Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure. If I had all the money in the world, what I would be tempted to do would be to arbitrarily bulldoze everything in the middle of the town and just run through there and go, sorry folks, you can move back in, but I need this space. So, you know, somewhere around here would be glamorous and splendid. But frankly, I'm not in a position to just, you know, be throwing money away. So that leaves us with a couple of choices. One, we build in the mountains. That's helpful, oddly enough, for if we go back here, for the curve that's going to come around here. In fact, let's put an arbitrary curve in place now. I'm not going to actually build it. Don't worry. That would be foolish. That would be the kind of thing that I've done historically. There we go. So that's a happy-go-lucky way to spend 5 million quid, isn't it? Build just a ludicrous bridge. Yeah, we won't be doing that. Yeah, so if I wanted to build in the mountains, we'd be going up like that. Good way to hemorrhage cash like no tomorrow. Right, option B. We do a ridiculously tight corner and come in on this side here. That's fine. Again, it's in, you know, the elevation of the terrain is pretty high. Actually, you know what? I'm tempted to do that. Because then we could do a sunken station. Yes, and level the ground sufficiently and build some road infrastructure to encourage others to build there, so it becomes kind of glamorous. Well, what the hell? You know, we're building this with a glamorous final show in mind. So let's give it a try. There is the big boy. Now, the big boy is very tempting. Very tempting. However, it's not what we need. That said, I have got the modification turned on where no trains ever expire. So I might have one of those, or maybe a couple of them running a bit later. Because, I mean, look at it. Look, that just says beast all over it. Anyway, that's not what I'm doing now. Right, let's do something exciting. Now, the way to do this is roads. You want to sink the elevation of something, use some roads. So first things first, we'll and this is a risky proposition, but let's give it a go. Unable to align terrain. Well, that's unhelpful. Let's raise it until you can align the terrain then. Flat? No, not flat. Let's start here. So the reason you use roads is because when you build a road, the game fixes the terrain for you. So we can now delete this bit of road and then whack in another one and tell it to go straight. No, straight. There you go. Which has turned that other end into a tunnel. So we don't want a tunnel just yet. What we want is a nice big straight section of the same elevation from which we build our station. So, you know, we'll lay a bit of road in there, and there we go, and then station it up inside. So this is not going to be low enough to be a proper sunken station, but it will be. Come on, there you go. Right, look, just no. And then once we've got this in place, we'll have bridges going over the top of it and lay it out in such a way that hopefully the townsfolk will kind of go, you know what, I want to live near this glamorous station. Yeah, that's all good. It's a laborious process, but I'm optimistic that that it'll pay off. Actually, before we switch back, because I mean, basically, you need to keep switching between road and bulldozing. Now, I've never been backward in coming forward for bulldozing, but it means that you only do a little bit at a time. So there we go. Started to flatten that out a touch, and once that's done, we can then go deeper. And the goal will be that we go deep enough so that we have an approach tunnel and an exit tunnel. So we just need to get about this amount of space at the right level, at which point we can bang the station in there. And the station will flatten the rest of it for us. So let's go for a slightly bigger bit of road this time. And once again, we'll take it downhill. No terrain alignment for you, huh? Okay, well, you know, piece by piece. So yeah, if this is not the gameplay you came to see, my apologies. However, it's going to be worth it. This is the kind of thing where if I do it in future, I'll probably high speed it so that you can just see the end effect. In fact, I could do that now, couldn't I? Okay, stay tuned. We're gonna whiz this. Engage turbos. All right, I think we've got something here. It's not the greatest feat of engineering ever seen, but it's not half bad. A couple more connections to roads will probably help things along a little, but fundamentally, I think we've got it. So, yeah, I mean, it's not pretty. I could probably do better, and in fact, next time I have a crack at an underground. Well, it's not even underground, really, is it? It's kind of canyon-based. Next time I do a canyon-based station, we'll see if we can't make it a bit nicer. But it should start to blend in with the landscape once local traffic, once the AI starts building itself up a kind of residential presence in the area. You know, if you can imagine, once we've got housing going along here and maybe a couple by the station and some along the cliff top here, it will start to naturalize itself, and plus it keeps the game interesting as far as track layouts are concerned. So you probably noticed I put a tram station in at the end here. In fact, I'm sure some of you will have said out loud, "Oh, look, he's put a tram station there." Yeah, I figured that instead of running buses out to the station, we'd run a tram line. I know. How about that? So let's get that polished off now before we connect the rest of it up. I'm sure that you also noticed that actually I ran perilously short of cash there. I mean, we actually went into the red for a little while. The station itself cost the best part of 5 million, plus the kind of the toings and froings on ground leveling and deleting road and replacing road and so on. I mean, that's the cost of doing business, basically. I don't really want to duplicate the bus route that I've got, but it seems to be the best way to do it. I might as well just, if I tram up this approach anyway, we can have a think about what's actually the best way to do it afterwards. Let's carry on down here and cut across. So you want some overlap with your bus services, largely because it allows people to hop from one. There you go. We've got a San Francisco-esque tram route there. That'll be fun. Trolley car, as our American friends call them. Trolleys? I'm probably wrong. Oh, what do you mean? Oh, come on. I'm only putting tram tracks on there. Oh, why have you got to ruin it for everybody? Fine, we'll take the tram over the bridge. Miserable, miserable thing. Okay, let's hope it... Yeah, see, it's happier that side. Seriously? Look, there's... it just wants to flatten that bit of cliffside out. I mean, and as such, you know, given that I've kind of squeezed this tram station in at the end there, it's I suppose acceptable that it's upset with me. Right, okay, let's put some stops in. Right, everything drives on the right. Everything drives on the right. There you go. We'll have a tram stop here for those who like the precariousness of potentially falling off the side of the cliff. We'll put another one here because I'm a firm believer in, if you put a stop up somewhere, people will build in order to make use of it. Then we'll come down here. We'll keep going the same. I don't like going the same way as the buses. Well, all right, then we're going to have to figure out a way of looping it the other way, aren't you? Everything drives on the right. We'll go the other way around the route. Get you, Mr. Smarty Pants. I know. Right, we do go one road that the bus doesn't. But for the most part, we are basically duplicating the bus route. But you know, we'll live with that, and I'm sure the passengers will too, given the new diversity of in-town transportation they have to choose from. Right, any more for any more? No, that's everything. And then we'll stop at the tram station down here. Everybody gets off. Everybody gets on a train. Everybody goes, ooh, there's a train here. And high fives, celebrations, you know, the works. Okay, where shall I put my tram depot so that it doesn't get in the way of somewhere the AI wants to build. And that's, I mean, this is something else that I try and do with bus and trams when possible, is build them outside of town, because otherwise you're using up land that the AI will quite happily build on and make you a few quid in the process. So out of town trams is the way to go. And there we go, I'm out of money again. Oh my god. And this can only mean that that life with the loops is not going according to plan. Either that or I'm upgrading a lot. I want to have a look, but we'll do that in a minute. Right, okay, let's get this route going. So which way did we decide we were going? You can't remember, can you? Okay, well this isn't actually a stop on that route. Everything drives on the right. I have to keep telling myself that, otherwise I will I'll do things the wrong way around. Going up here, where's the bus? There's a lot of zombie looking people out there meandering around town. Come on, I'm pretty sure we decided we're going this way. Yeah, there we go, there's a bus now. Alright, good. Back to the bus station. Can you remember which way you were going? Yes, I can. I'm not an idiot. Here we go. Right, good. New line. Tram. The very first. Add station. Okay. So our first stop on this glorious new way of getting around town is this one. Right there. Add station. That one. Thank you. And yep. Why would you want to go down there? There's no rails down there. Somewhat questionable pathfinding there. I need my bank balance to be rocketing up while I'm doing this. I mean, firstly, I've got to buy a tram when we're done, but secondly, I want to finish off laying the track. All right, and then we'll go down to the station, and then we'll come back out. Yeah, oh yeah. People are gonna love it. No, you've taken the wrong route there, friend. And then back onto Highfield Road. You can't go that. Look, why don't you use the tracks? Oh, I'm going to put another stop in there, because if I don't have my tram San Franciscoing down the hill, I'm going to be very disappointed. And then we just need Steve McQueen in his Mustang tearing along. It's a movie reference. If you're old enough, you get it. Okay, right. So where the hell am I? Waltham Abbey. Waltham Abbey. Tram. There we go. There's no mistaking what that's for. And then we're at 500,000 over again. Okay, I need to have a look at my finances. Right. What I thought could possibly be pushing me over is upgrading with new vehicles. So this year, where are we? October. We have spent basically £1 million on vehicle upgrades, and that's all road based as well. Okay, there's my construction cost from last year. Pricey. Ended up costing me £4 million. This year, however, we haven't spent anything like that. How's our revenues doing? Revenues are kind of hovering around the 30 million mark, which doesn't leave us a huge amount of profit. But I am running a couple of trains now that I've opted not to replace until we've got something new and particularly glamorous to replace them with. This is possibly flawed logic on my part, but there you go. Now we have the Peter Witt, a little older, from 1915, or the Pittsburgh from 1940. Well, it's 1944. We'll have a couple of those. Set this onto the Waltham Abbey tram, please. Go off your trot. Okay, now I mean this is going to be a cost centre rather than a profit maker for a little while. Hold everything. Hold. Why are you backing up on us? Because you've got a bit of tram line missing. There we go. professionals don't make such mistakes. Yeah, so we are going to. This is going to be costing us money rather than making it for some time, because there's no trains coming yet. So no one in their right mind is going to go, oh yeah, I'll take a lovely jaunt out to the train station, please. That'd be top hole. Right, we'll buy one more. There we go. Set line. Off you trot. Right. 2 trams, that should cut it. In fact, that just pushed Waltham Abbey to the top of the tree as far as in-town commutability is concerned. Way to go, Waltham Abbey. Right, back to where we started. Let's see if this track is going to link up without too much wailing and gnashing of teeth. So we're coming in over there. Well, I mean, it's doable. The question is how much speed we have to bleed off in order to make that happen. Yuck. I do not want to be using bridge here unless I absolutely have to. 62 top speed. Right, there's our target. You see there's the target right there. That little black square is the tunnel on the way in. What do we prefer? Do we prefer this or do we prefer that? We prefer neither. Or how about building an enormous piece of groundwork? Ah, yeah, meanwhile, Studebaker and a new boxcar. And the Picnic Express has reached its lifetime and should be replaced. Okay, right. Well, that's something we're going to have to contend with. Well, we're not going to build an enormous earthwork. I think we'll go with this red number for, good reason. Now, I'm going to be able to, I should be able to get this up and running just as soon as we get some cash in. How did we do for revenue? We were 2 million in revenue down last year. That's poor. And that, had we got the extra 2 million in to take us back to the previous year, which was 30.3, we would have made a profit last year instead of a loss. And frankly, I need to be making as much cash as possible. Yeah, buy that while we can. What's the betting? You've put the wrong line on there, and that this one is going to have some kind of a massive complaining moment. Well, we know the way and the method of doing this. Well, hold on. Why are you now... Oh, so you're only saying I'm out of money. Oh, that's acceptable. Now, this could fall foul of the... I don't like it. Why is it red? It's too red. Up close it... look at that. It's too red. That's way too red. Unless someone can, point me at a track section in the States somewhere that has track that red, or in Europe that has kind of ironworks that red. I don't buy it. I point to the developers and I say, you, my friends, have built something that is too red. And again, they want me to build a flaming bridge out there. What's that? Why? I don't want to build a bridge. I mean, I guess I'm going to have to. Which is that 150 grand. Ugh. Welcome to finding things to complain about. Oh, it's only the end bit that you're having a wiggle. Right, well, we'll leave it like that. Take it while we can afford it. Oh, we've gone with the other bridge. The other thing I'd like the game to do in future, while you're taking notes, is remember the type of bridge I chose last. Rather than heading back to a default of some description, choose the one that I chose last time around. Because clearly I will have chosen it for aesthetic purposes. So when you switch me from a nice stone bridge onto some ridiculous wooden effort or cast iron monstrosity, I'm going to be displeased. Okay, that'll just about wrap it up for this time. This is slightly this and that kind of an episode. The reason I'm stopping here is because I currently owe the bank £1.5 million, and it's going to be a couple of minutes before I get that back. So yeah, so this was always going to be quite expensive, given that we're coming out of a mountain. What to look for in the future, potentially, is a branch coming off this section. Because the proximity to this Ellesmere line here potentially means we could be running another loop. And that is tempting. Quick, we've got money, spend it. Yeah, I mean, obviously, right now, the only thing I'm concerned about is completing the loops that we have got, kind of, pre-thought out. But after that, it's all about, running as many trains as possible in as efficient a way as possible. If I can get 100 trains running. In fact, we've gone an entire episode without looking at a train once. Let's go and look at one to finish off with. Here we go. This is a good place to go. Oh, look, people queuing, trains happening. Splendid. What are you waiting for? Who is in your way? Is that the station approach tunnel? It is. So there's the previous service coming through now. And then we've got another one here. That's rather splendid. The one we were just looking at should emerge from the tunnel to come and wait at this these lights here. If I know my signalling correctly. Which I believe I do. Let's see if it's still waiting. Yep, there we go, heading into the tunnel. Heading into the tunnel, not very fast. Put some effort into it, man. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Colonel Failure. Things are moving on, but I need to be making more money. We've gone through a period of maybe 5 years in the game where I've just been spending it on upgrading trains and on building track and on getting things moving. And while the balance sheet says that if I leave it alone for long enough, we will make some cash, this is uncertain times in terms of, have I radically overspent here? We've still got trains that need updating. So we'll have a bit of a quick look at that next time around just to see where we're up to. And then after that, hopefully, cash permitting, we will move on to some more building. So thanks for watching. I will catch up with you very soon. Cheerio.